And you're gone again. Stand by as we have technical difficulties. Please enjoy this serenation. Technology 2025. We can put chips in your brain, but we can't make a video stream work. It's 2025. Maverick and Wolfman, 100 episodes. Booyah! Jazz.
Running with Maverick and Wolfman. Maverick here.
Wolfman here. We have an exciting episode for you today. The 100th, if you're counting at home. You should be. Make sure you find us on Facebook, Instagram, X, the big one, YouTube. When you find us on YouTube, please consider subscribing, giving us a thumbs up. Helps the algorithms, or so I'm told. All right, 100 episodes.
100. Here we go. 100 years old.
Feel like it some days. Oh,
Is your age catching up with you?
that's why I've been training, so I'm always ahead of it. No crashing on the couch for me.
So let me ask you this, Wolfman. If running and exercise are so difficult and so, grueling, why do we keep doing them? Why do we keep returning back for more?
Oh, that's a good question. Think of the challenge, right? Knowing that you're accomplishing something more than most people accomplish. I was just listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, and he was saying how, if you're able to do these kinds of things, you're putting yourself in a discomfort that most people don't. They just stop. And so by putting yourself through that discomfort, you've accomplished more things than the average person accomplishes in their lifetime. So, to challenge yourself is a good thing, and it takes time, So, and I think he had that spot on. What do you think it is?
Well, I think you're definitely right about there's some kind of challenge and some kind of feat and goal setting that comes about that we enjoy that aspect. But I also think we enjoy the physiological changes that occur, the clearing of the mind, the centering. I think there's a connection between humans and that physical exercise, that output, that everyday kind of challenge, something that's inside of us that we need to do. And I think that's why we return to it, even if we can't, we still have some kind of desire to go back and exercise and get fit, run, compete, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I think, too, there's a certain amount of camaraderie that happens with it. I mean, if you think back to some of your closest friends, I mean, you and myself included, some of the closest friends I have, I've met through particularly running, but being on a sports team with them. And I think you see that with a lot of lasting friendships. They have that bond that they've had, training and games and competition and things like that together. For us, it's running, but I know, a couple of the podcasts I listen to, they bonded through football. That competition with each other, protecting each other, having each other's backs, having that common goal, that common drive.
So I just wanted to bring up after that first question that Jim Schools was supposed to be on this episode.
Yeah.
But he's not.
He's not. We did have a lot of technical.
Some of you may remember Jim Schools from previous episodes. Jim, we'll forgive you for this one since you've made
We
some good
will.
episodes with us in the past, so we're going to forgive this one.
We
We're going to
will.
let you get your rest. Come back strong.
His arms probably got tired from flying
So
back and
yeah,
forth
so I
around.
definitely looking forward to having him on the next episode.
Yes, and it will be an exciting and
Yeah, he's using
informative
his arms
one,
too much.
and hopefully we'll answer some of the most common questions I get. I don't know about you.
Well, I've got a question for you, which I may pose to him as well.
Yeah,
Um, do you? I mean, listen, we've all run and exercised quite a bit in our lives. We've run many miles with many folks, thousands of runners you've run with, right? Numerous races over the years, decades. Is there a spiritual component to running?
I think so. Um, for me, anyway. I mean, I don't know how deeply spiritual you would say it is, but I definitely do a lot of my reflection and thinking about life and you know talking to the Almighty and um, I definitely think there's a spiritual component to it, in my opinion. Um, I have some of my deepest reflections when I'm running, but I don't. We've gone over this too. I don't run with headphones. I don't run with my phone typically. It's just me and the outdoors. So, there's a lot of time to think and reflect for me in the way I do it. So, I think so. How about you?
Yeah, I would say there's many ways to have a spiritual moment, and definitely running, especially in nature, even more so. On the road you can as well, but when you get out there on a trail and it's just you or you in a little group, yeah, definitely some interesting things happen. But yeah, absolutely, I would say like hikes, running, kayaking, biking, like all that stuff. I've done it all, and there's always that element at some point. And it might not be during the vigorous time. It might be when you take that rest that
Yeah,
that moment happens, and it's pretty interesting when it does. So I always found that to be interesting, and I always that's one of the draws to it. Like that's why people keep going back, um, to find that clarity, to find that connection. Um,
yeah.
Absolutely, I agree with that 100%.
I mean, there's.
It
I'm
is
sure
a
you find this
deep
too. What's
spiritual
that?
100th episode.
Yeah, I'm sure you find this too. But there's routes I run all the time, and I still get to the top of certain hills, or you get to certain points where you're in a rock cut creek, and you still just stand back and say, "Wow," you know, even though you've seen it hundreds of times, thousands of times, you still have to stop, take that moment, and just say, "Wow, that is amazing."
Sure, sure. And that's why people revisit the same places over and over again.
Yeah.
Something amazing about